Ibram X. Kendi, who is the biggest race huckster in the entire country, a man who once said that he was horrified when his son came home from school thinking that he was a girl, even though he pretends to be an intersectional king. He was on Joe Scarborough's program. Joe Scarborough, of course, is a total fraud. We've illustrated that quite effectively over the last couple of weeks. Here they go talking about, well, racism.
Thanks for being with us. Tell everybody why you wrote the book.
Well, I wrote the book because the more that I researched this issue about race and children, the more that I continued on as a father, the more I realized that kids are actually the most vulnerable to racism. Mm-hmm. But they're the ones who were least likely to engage about it. And so I wanted to write a book that would allow parents and teachers and caregivers to figure out ways to protect our children from these simplistic messages like dark is ugly and light, is good, so they can grow up to be whole people who recognize racial equality.
And your message is that parents should understand that children are already forming opinions at a very early age. Some research says as early as 3 or 4 years old.
They do, and that's the unfortunate truth. But according to scholars, by 3 years old, our kids have an adult-like concept of race. By 3 years old, our kids are attaching qualities like smartness and honesty and cleanliness to skin color. And all the while, parents are thinking, and teachers, that our kids aren't thinking about skin color or even seeing it. And so we're not stepping in to counteract those messages, and we need to.
Nobody's doing that, dude. You are a fraud. I dropped the F-bomb there. It was going to happen. You're just a complete fraud. Like everyone that's ever met a 3-year-old, they don't care about any of this stuff. You then, by introducing race to everything with them, create a new generation of racists, right? You're creating these soft racists, and they're not these racists, this new generation of race-obsessed whack jobs that you're creating, and these woke lunatics. They're not old school racists like, I don't want a black person to be at the same water fountain as me, which of course everyone would think is wrong. And there is literally nobody in America in any capacity, in any influential capacity, that would want anything like that, or laws that would differentiate between the races, except for you guys. You guys who have decided that race should matter when it comes to college admission. You guys who have decided race should matter when it comes to hiring and who gets on TV and who gets what award and all of this stuff.